once a month. And essentially, it's not just about like Tableau Desktop. Basically, everything in the Tableau suite, analytics all the time is what we got here for you. I'm going to introduce our co-leaders today. So we have Annabelle, Prasanna, and myself. As far as Annabelle goes, she's a Tableau. She works at the Tableau Center of Excellence, and she's the Tableau COE lead. Her passions are Tableau, her dog, and chocolate. She lives in Zurich, and she does a bunch of other things in the community as well. So she also leads the Data Plus Women in Zurich, where you can also support them and see all the great stuff they got going on by joining their event over here. As far as Prasan goes, oh, by the way, Annabelle is also a Tableau visionary and ambassador. Same with Prasan over here, who is a Tableau visionary and social ambassador. And he was or is a Tableau featured author and a member of the Tableau Speaker Bureau. He has also founded the Tableau Buddy program, which is like a really awesome way, that he's helping people who are new in the field to kind of get upskilled in Tableau. So if you're ever looking for a resource like that, that's a good place to look to. And he also leads the Tableau Buddy Talks TUG, which is also another place where you can get to learn a bunch of great stuff about Tableau. As far as his Tableau journey, he's been working with Tableau for about 3 years now. So, fairly experienced, we can say. And he's currently building that Nebula program, which we talked about. So if you follow him on LinkedIn, he talks a lot about that. You should definitely check it out. And so far, he has mentored over 500 data professionals with that community. So lots of really great stuff that, he's got going on there. Fun fact, apart from his nerdy side, you can find Prasan either partying and trying out different foods and genres, or you can find him geeking over anime. Now, as far as myself goes, I am also a Tableau ambassador and visionary. I'm a database manager at Postmedia, which is a media company, and I do some freelance work via Visite Analytics, which is my thing on the side there. I started Tableau in 2020, so also about 3 years as well, just like Prasan. And for me, it's just really been something that I knew I wanted to do ever since. So if you see my stuff, I really love, design and making stuff look beautiful, because I think that, data, business, and design can really do a lot to help people, really see what's in the data. Fun fact about me, I guess when I was younger, I was in art class. And so, I'm always thinking about like cool, like colory, artsy type stuff to do with my visits. And, I really need to use Tableau from time to time because I start to get my Joneses. So, just something else there about me. And now, just a few ground rules before we get going on our first speaker. Please utilize the chat section to, kind of interact, hype things up, and just have some fun. But if you have questions, please do use the Q&A section because the chat moves really quickly and we don't want to miss what you have to say. So please, if you want us to see, Q&A is the best place to ask questions for the speakers. Single rule, we literally don't care about any rule here except one. You have to enjoy yourself, ask questions and just open your mind up to some great learning. Just for your consent, we are going to be recording this session. And when we are done, you go check it out on our YouTube channel. And of course, please don't hesitate to send us love, shout out, and just, basically interact with us on social media at Analytics TUG on Twitter. So today we've gone through I guess we can skip this. We're going to go through the speakers today, and I'm going to pass it over to you, Prasan, so you can help us bring those awesome people in today.
Sure. Thank you so much, Chimdi. First, I'll introduce our first speaker. She is Marlo Abramowitz, and she's coming straight from Tableau. She's a data nerd and a senior product manager at Tableau Software. And she has been at Tableau for around 2.5 years and currently leads the Tableau Exchange, your one-stop shop to jumpstart analysis. And today she's going to talk about how you can jumpstart your analysis with the Tableau Exchange. It's a new, to me, it's a new idea. I haven't dived into this topic, so I'm really excited. So thank you so much, Marlo, for giving us your time, and the stage is yours.
Cool. Thanks so much. It doesn't look like I have ability to share my screen anymore. I don't know.
Wait 1 second. Let me stop sharing, and I think.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yep. There we go. That was it. One sec. All right. Cool. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here. So I'm going to walk through and talk about the Tableau Exchange and give you some more details of what we're all about. All right, so this is a forward-looking statement just saying basically anything here, don't use this to make purchasing decisions or trading, anything like that. So agenda for today, I'm going to go over what is the Tableau Exchange and then dive into accelerators, which is one of our offerings. That one's a popular one, especially with people learning Tableau from the beginning. It's useful for all kinds of users, but especially new users. And then also talk about our coming soon and product innovations with the Tableau Exchange. So first, answering question for those that aren't familiar or have heard of it but don't really know what we offer, I'm going to get into a little bit more. What is the Tableau Exchange? So the Tableau Exchange is our trusted hub to get offerings that extend the Tableau platform and help customers get faster time to value. So we have over 400 offerings built both internally by Tableau employees and our trusted partner network. So the Tableau Exchange is your one-stop shop to discover ways to accelerate your data transformation wherever you are in your journey. Every offering we have on here is pre-built, allowing you to get started faster by downloading it either from Tableau Exchange website or within the desktop product directly. And then you can install them right in your Tableau environment. So like I said, they're either built internally or externally by our partners, but either way, they're industry experts. So you can address a wide variety of unique use cases across industries, departments, and enterprise applications. And finally, we know that security and data integrity are really important to all Tableau users. And so all of our offerings are built with governance in mind. And so you know where and how your data is being used. And all offerings are also vetted to the highest quality standards before they're listed and approved to be on the exchange. So just give you a little take if you haven't actually visited the Tableau Exchange, exchange.tableau.com. It's an external facing website. So you can go to this today with whether you're a paid Tableau customer or not. So you can check it out. So there's a little bit, I'll get into the different offering types in my presentation, but this is what you'll see landing on the page. And as you, like I mentioned, I'll go through the different offering types, but you can browse it. You can open one per se, find out a little bit more about it. Ignore this top one. I'm in. I just realized I'm in admin mode, but that won't appear for you. But you can launch a demo for it, download it, and then upload it into your Tableau. And I don't have the desktop product open to me, but there's also a way for you to get access to these that I'm going to talk about directly in the product as well. So you can browse them and install them without having to go an external website as well. So to make cuts down on a couple steps if you're interested in that as well. So here you'll find couple of screenshots of what this one looks like, a description, what fields are required, and then here's an actual live demo of it, walkthrough. So this is a workbook template, basically, if you're not familiar with the accelerator. So this is an example of accelerator. You can walk through the different tabs and check it out before you go and download it. So there's a lot you can find out about it and with the Exchange. And you can also use the search bar here to search if you have a specific industry that you're looking for or a question. You can try typing it in and see where you can match up. All right, so going back to the presentation here. So talking about those three offerings that I mentioned that I just showed you on the Exchange site. We have 3 offerings today, and we have a 4th one that's coming out that I'll get into at the end of the presentation. So the 3 offerings we have are dashboard extensions that allow you to add functionality to your Tableau dashboards. Think of them as apps that you can add on that gives you additional capabilities. Next are connectors. So Tableau, as you know, come with a certain amount of connectors, but there's ones that are niche that some of our partners build that give you a connector to specific data that doesn't come as a default as part of Tableau. And so that's where you can access it through the Exchange. And finally, accelerators that are the expert build dashboards that give you a jumpstart to your analytics for a variety of use cases. So essentially a workbook template that allows you to get into different industries or answer specific questions. And we're going to I'll show you a little bit more about dashboard extensions and connectors, but we'll really do a deep dive into accelerators. So dashboard extensions allow you to add unique features to your dashboards like new chart types, visualizations, or extra capabilities that increase your possibilities in Tableau and bringing more value to your workflow. So in essence, there are web applications that can be updated from all kinds of dashboard interactions. And today we have over 80 available in the Exchange, which is pretty cool. And the example here is a Show Me More extension built by our partner Infotopics, if you're familiar with them. And this adds additional chart types beyond what you see in the default Show Me set, giving you more options to visualize your data. And we have additional ones, like another one here that's the Einstein that infuses machine learning models with Einstein discovery. And you can explore what if calculations and write back to your database. So those are a couple examples of cool and popular ones that we have with our users. So next we have those connectors. So in order to analyze data, you need to connect to it. And while Tableau comes with dozens of out-of-box connectors, there are some instances where you need a very custom connector. And that's where our partners come into play or our internal teams building these connectors. And once installed, these connectors actually look just like any other connector that you have. It just takes one additional step to install it rather than coming native to desktop. And all you have to do is select a connector from your choice from the Connectors tab of Tableau Exchange and follow the installation instructions. And when you're in desktop, as well as when you're on the start pane, you can choose connectors and you'll be able to see the ones. There's a little title over it that says these are coming from the Exchange. Otherwise, they look just like any other connector. There's just a subset on the list of connectors that pull from the Exchange. And right now we have over 25 available. Here's a little sampling of different logos of the ones that we have available as well. So now I'll get into accelerators. Type D. This one's a popular one, especially people that are not familiar with the Exchange and not familiar as with Tableau. This is a good place to start. So we've all had this experience before. You're tasked with solving a complex business issue and know your data has the answers you need, but beyond that, you don't really know where to start. So you end up with a blank screen looking like this. And there's almost endless possibilities to explore, but no clear direction to where to start. And even when you know you want to tackle a challenge, getting to insights can take a really long time. So you need to deeply understand the business case and data that can help you solve it. Then you need to learn how to best visualize the data so your audience can understand it. And then lastly, if you aren't already familiar with data visualization software, then you need to even learn how to use that before you can build the content. So this is all the steps you need to go through to go from a blank string to actual insight. So imagine that you don't have to do all the steps and instead you had a pre-built solution that you could just jumpstart your analysis. Well, that's what Tableau accelerators are all about. So the experts that go through and have built the accelerators have already gone through all the steps for you. They thought about how to use Tableau, what kind of questions you might want to answer, what you want to look like it, best practices to make it actually look visually pleasing. So I've gone through these steps for you. So you might be wondering what exactly accelerators. So I went a little bit through it, but so their accelerators are ready to use dashboards that you can plug your own data into. So they're not just an example of what things could be, but you can take them and plug in your own data. So you can leverage them and jump ahead and instead of having to start from scratch, they get you ahead quickly. So they're built by our industry and functional experts and tailored for almost every use case. And they're easy to use for anyone, even because they're built with the best practices in mind. They're built with a new user in mind to make things easy and not super expert. So the outcome looks really like an expert built it, but the way that you input and can add in your own data is built for someone that doesn't maybe have that expertise as well. So no matter what your department, industry, or enterprise architecture, there's a Tableau accelerator for you. So to help you find the right one, each accelerator comes with a live preview and description, kind of like what I went through on the Exchange website, and also lists out the KPIs that it helps you monitor. So you can browse that, and if any of them stand out as something that you track on a day-to-day basis, then that might be a good one for you to use. And you can also use one as a starting point, and if things aren't relevant for you, you can edit them. They're just a Tableau workbook. You can take it and do what you want with it to tailor it to what you need. And today we have over 120 accelerator listings We have ones in a bunch of different languages as well. This is 120 kind of unique ones, but we have, I don't know how many languages, maybe 10 plus different languages listed on there. So depending on what you're looking for, we have one for you. So in addition to be able to access the Tableau Exchange accelerators on the Tableau Exchange, this is also a new offering for people that are maybe also familiar with Salesforce. I don't know how common that is with this group, but just FYI, they're also listed on the Salesforce App Exchange. So for people that are coming from Salesforce and want to be more familiar with Tableau, they're also available on the App Exchange. So 2 ways to discover them, depending on what your preferred way to find them. And then I'm going to go over some upcoming innovations, and then we'll wrap up and answer any questions that you have with the little bit of time we have left. So coming soon is really exciting, is Viz extensions. So right now we have a certain amount of Vizes that you can build within the Show Me tab or from scratch. So Viz extensions give you the ability to explore complex Viz types without the need for complex data modeling or calculations. So there's going to be pre-built Viz types that you can pull from the Tableau Exchange, pull in your data, and they're already pre-built. So they're going to be launched upcoming soon, and we'll have a couple of them to begin with, and then our partners will add to it. Just like the extensions and connectors, we have third-party partners who get excited about them, build them, and then list them for users to use. So this is coming up soon. These are a couple of examples, but they're not in the Tableau Exchange yet, but they'll definitely be there soon for you to check out. And that wraps up my presentation here, but I'm happy to take some questions if there are any. See if I can, I don't know if you guys want to read them out to me, or I can check out the Q&A if there are any. If not, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Happy to connect with you. And if you have follow-up questions that come up, you can use the messaging within LinkedIn. I'm happy to chat with you as well.
Thank you so much, Marlo. I think that was a great amount of information about looking into the Tableau Exchange, the different products we have, and how we can use them to speed our process altogether. So that was good to know.
Yeah, thank you.
So one question, it's not actually related to the Tableau Exchange, but Terry is asking that do we get access to this PPT as well?
The access to what?
The presentation slides.
Yeah, I can also I can send them to you, and you can get them out.
Yes.
However,
Okay.
yeah, happy to do that.
Okay. Let me check if we have any more questions. I think we are good then. Thank you so much, Marlo, and thank you so much for taking us through with a huge amount of information that's going to help us. Please check that out, guys, and let's move to Joon. So Joon is a friend and a senior data visualization specialist working for a retail organization, Big W, in Australia. He has experience in the telecommunications and insurance industry. He is a Tableau ambassador and he really enjoys helping others understand data through visualization. And also, he's a great member of the community and he is always there to help and collaborate as well. June also co leads the Sydney Tableau user group. So these guys are also going to this Visit Sydney, if I'm right. So I'm really jealous of that. And outside work, he answers questions on the Tableau forums and write blogs to share his new learnings. Today, he's going to talk about the secret to accelerating your Tableau learning. So it comes from his personal experience and his journey, and I'm really excited to hear from June. So take it away, June.
Thank you for the kind introduction, Prasan. I really appreciate having me here today and giving me this great opportunity to talk about a topic that I feel absolutely passionate about, and it's all about learning Tableau. So today I'm here to can can everybody hear me well, by the way, before I go any
Yes.
further? Okay, good. So today I'm here to talk to you about the big secret to accelerating your Tableau learning, because we all want to be really, really great at Tableau, right? Let's just dive right in without further ado. I'm going to share my screen and hopefully I can get this right. Oh, thank you, Erika. Okay. And I'm going to... How does that work? Does that work okay?
Yes. I think it's good to go.
Okay. Is it filling up the whole screen, Prasan, by the way?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Right. So Steve Jobs once said that if you really look closely, most overnight successes took a long time. And I can certainly say that it's exactly the same story with learning Tableau as well. Um, Even though today's topic is about accelerating your Tableau learning, what it wasn't about is going from 0 to hero in a day or even a week, because just like everything else that's good in life, learning to be good at Tableau is going to take a lot of your effort and will hence take a lot of time as well. What I am going to focus on, however, is about sharing with everyone here, what are some of the more effective learning strategies that we can adopt, and also looking at what are some of the behavioral changes that we can implement in our everyday in order to really help us, build that sustainable model of learning. Because learning itself is going to be a lifelong plan. It's not something that you do as a short stint now and then say, "Hey, I'm done with my learning." Um, I'm going to, for the most part of my presentation, I'm going to be basing this on my very own Tableau journey. I'm going to talk through what are some of the things that I've done, I've tried, that has helped me to get to where I am today. So let's have a look. Just a little bit about my Tableau journey. I first started using Tableau back in 2018, but it really only feels like it happened yesterday. And the very first version of Tableau I started using was 2018.3, for anyone here who is familiar with that. I also subsequently became a Tableau Forum ambassador for the first time in 2021, and I'm very, very happy to be continuing that journey through 22 and in the current year as well. And one of the more recent development has been joining the Sydney Tableau user group as a co-lead. And also in terms of my jobs, I have managed to hold a number of roles across different industries, starting from telecommunications through to insurance, and now currently at retail. What I can say about my personal Tableau journey is that it has been a disaster. Well, at least initially it was. Really was a roller coaster ride with a lot of ups and downs. And believe it or not, I actually was really, really close to giving up on learning Tableau. But as the saying goes, there is always that light at the end of the tunnel, and that's exactly what happened. And as a result, I was able to stay the journey and be able to map it out like this using Tableau, of course. This beautiful looking line chart, which is really what got me all started on this Tableau journey. So just for the clarity, I suppose, I'm going to explain that the rise and fall, the y-axis for this line chart actually represents, I guess, my personal take on my level of competency in Tableau, the way I saw it, slash my emotional state at that point in time, and slash the level of confidence that came with that learning process as well. So with that said, I'm just going to go straight from the leftmost side of the chart and then work our way through to the right. So in the very humble beginning, what really got me started on this journey was building out your typical line charts and bar charts. And when I started doing that, I felt, wow, this is really easy. And I thought, I thought I was I was natural at this. Only to find that there were plenty of occasions later on where I had to come across some reality checks. Um, and when that happened, I've been hitting new lows every day, to a point where I literally got completely lost, and I thought, okay, well, maybe I should give up on learning Tableau altogether. When you come across new concepts, new ideas like LODs, there's like 3 different types of LODs that I encountered. And then came order of operations, and I had no idea what order of operations and how it actually fit into the overall scheme of things. All of this stuff just went right over my head. And without actually having anybody to hold my hand at that time, I thought, okay, well, maybe it's time that I gave up. But it was also right at that moment where I was very lucky to have found myself a mentor who is a great friend of mine now. I met him at my workplace, and he really went out of his way to really pull me out of that ditch and show me the way. Um, and ever since then, things have been very, very different. So after I managed to put myself back on track, I decided, okay, well, maybe I should try something different now. Maybe I should try and look at formalizing my approach to learning Tableau. And the very first thing that I did was I actually went and bought myself a license for Tableau e-learning, and it really turned out to be a great, great product for really helping me to build that foundation. And subsequent to that, I also went and did quite a lot of online, your typical self-paced learning courses that you come across on various sites. But my favorite happened to be Udemy, if anybody is familiar with that. And having been through those courses, I gradually started to pick up pace in terms of my learning, and also did the confidence also come along with that as well. And it just got to a stage where I thought, okay, well, maybe this is a good time for me to test myself out to see how far I've come. And that's where I started to make the preparations to sit those certification exams, starting with the Tableau Desktop Specialist. And I barely managed to pass that exam, but I suppose the important thing was that I did manage to pass. But when I look at it in hindsight, I think having sit through those 2 exams, Tableau Desktop Specialist, followed by Tableau Certified Associate Examinations, um, I think they were priceless experiences, in my opinion, because what it did was it helped me to identify the areas of my weakness, which then has helped me to really quickly address those areas and then make those improvements and make that learning. Um, After having completed those 2 certifications, something came along. Something extraordinary actually happened, and that's where you see that big green line, sort of kind of chopping that line chart in half, and you see that little sparkle there with a note that says something happened there. So the something is what I would like to share with everyone here today, because uh, that to me was a big trigger point. And as you can see from the line chart, going beyond that green line is where the line chart starts to ramp up in that exponential fashion. And that's where the true accelerated learning has come about. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little bit deeper on the subject of how I actually got to that particular green mark, and what is it exactly about some of the things that I did at that point in time that's really brought about that change. So I'm going to first touch on, I suppose, my learning experiences, and more specifically the types of learnings that I've explored. So just previously we talked about some of those online self-paced courses, the likes of Tableau e-learning, for example, and various sorts of other courses that I discovered on Udemy. So all of these type of learnings, I would put them into the structured learning bucket. And what I mean by structured learning are these courses that are very well scheduled out. They have their syllabus with a really good coverage of all the key competencies that we should know when it comes to learning Tableau. And all I really had to do was basically just walk through those guided lessons, which was really easy to do. And most importantly, all of these courses are actually programmed and designed to make sure that you become successful by the time you get to the end of it. So I think, in my opinion, the structured learning was quite an essential piece in making sure that I actually build up that initial momentum and build that foundation before then venturing out and exploring the unstructured learning, which is, the way I describe it is that it's really the learning that comes in a very much a chaotic fashion. And the reason why I say that is because the unstructured learning doesn't have any syllabus. There's no schedule to anything, and it's more the case of finding the opportunity of learning at very random intervals and at very random places. And to give you an example of that, it might typically be a case of maybe you're trying to help out your colleague at your workplace, and then there's this big challenge that your colleague is struggling with, and then you sort of jump in to help, but you yourself don't also know the answer, which then becomes an opportunity for you to explore and really activate that critical thinking, to do a deep dive, and then in the process of doing all that, you find yourself actually learning quite a great deal. And the more of this unstructured learning that you do, I feel that that's where you can really step up in terms of your skill sets. And possibly there's another way to make that a little bit more motivating, more interesting, and that is to try and gamify that experience of unstructured learning. And I know this probably doesn't apply in every case, but just a little bit further into the conversation, I'm going to be sharing you a really good example on where we can actually achieve that potential to spice up your game a little bit. And one other thing that I would like to emphasize on this point about the two styles of learning is that it's not necessarily about one style of learning being ultimately better than the other, but it's more the case of acknowledging that both styles of learnings are absolutely crucial to boost your capacity for learning Tableau. And in my case, I actually found it extremely useful and most logical to actually start on that journey by engaging more of that structured learning up front. And then once you've built up that foundation, then it also made logical sense to then look beyond that and look for other ways to really accelerate your learning process. And that was coming from the unstructured learning piece there. So yeah. So just quickly revisiting the line charts, just now marking the fact that prior to that green line, that's where predominantly it was made up of the structured learning piece, and then going beyond that green demarcation point, most of my learning actually came in a very much an unstructured fashion. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on this about what were some of the key enablers of that accelerated learning and really helped me to ramp up my capacity for learning. And it comes down to three key things, in my opinion. And let me just introduce you to what those were. The first piece here is all about opportunity. And what I mean by that opportunity is putting yourself in a situation where you have access to lots and lots of problems, typically real world problems that you otherwise would not encounter in your day-to-day lives or your day-to-day jobs. Just to give you a quick analogy, I recently had to take my car into a mechanic to get it repaired. And I had every confidence that this person was going to be doing a really great job because, I'm talking about a person who has over 20 years of experience in servicing vehicles. Now, if you can think about the sheer number of cars that this person would have gone through in his 20-year career. And you compare that to someone who might have just completed his or her apprenticeship. Now we're talking volume here, and also in the context of learning Tableau, I strongly feel that by encountering more and more real-world problems is only going to give you the greater opportunity of learning, and that's essentially what this is all about. So you need to be able to find yourself that opportunity, and I'm going to be talking a little bit more about where you can actually get access to that type of opportunity. And secondly, once you found that opportunity, obviously you're going to be turning that into a bit of a challenge for yourself, because with every challenge comes a learning opportunity. If you tell me that you're learning something and you don't feel a challenge, then obviously you're not learning anything. So the struggle is one of the things that I always emphasize. When you go through that hardship, when you go through that struggle, and when you come out the other end of it, I'm very confident that you would have come out the other end being a lot more wiser, and a lot more conversant with the subject matter at hand. So that, I feel, it's one of the key ingredients in really making that learning effective. So we've talked about the opportunity, we've touched on the struggle, and lastly, it's all about taking that knowledge that you've learned and sharing it with the wider community, or teaching other people. And the reason why I also emphasize that is because from my personal experience, when I struggle through a problem and I finally get to a solution, um, it's not just about passing that on to somebody else at a click of a button, but it's actually a lot more involved than that. I tend to spend a lot of time trying to break that down into tiny little bite sizes, so that it becomes a little bit more intuitive, a little bit more easier for the other person to understand. And often at times when you start breaking it down, you often question some of the things that you took for granted. Why does this have to work this way, or that way? And what you're effectively doing is you're actually really doing a deep dive and breaking things down into the really fine granular level. And what then happens is you come out the other end being a lot more knowledgeable about the topic that you're about to share with the other person. And hence I arrive at a conclusion that teaching is effectively a great opportunity to learn as well. So when you put these three things together, I found that this is one of the key enablers of making sure that you make your learning process as effective as it can possibly be. Now, as I promised, I'm going to give you an example of where we could realize all these three key elements for your learning, and this is what I'm going to show you. For some of you, this might look very familiar because this is a snippet from our very own Tableau community website. And in this space, there is a little section called forums. Well, I wouldn't say little, it's quite big, but there is a section there on forums, which is a place where virtually anyone who uses Tableau can come along. They can ask questions, or you can also come along to help other people with their challenges and their problems as well. And what I love most about this community forum, or Tableau community forums, is that anybody who comes here is actually a winner. And the reason why I say that is because a person who comes along to ask a question will walk away with an answer. So that's a win. But on the other side of the fence, if you're actually here to help another person and also at the same time challenge yourself, there is a great learning opportunity there. Even if you tackle a problem, if you can't find a solution straight away, that's still okay, because chances are somebody else will come along and answer that question. And all you have to do is you learn from that answer as well. And once you've learned, you can always take that learning and help somebody else down the track who might have a question of a similar nature. So hence, that's why I say everyone is a winner in the Tableau community forum. So if you are genuinely serious about really picking up your pace with your Tableau learning, then I strongly recommend coming to the Tableau community forums and giving it a go. And you don't have to be an ambassador to participate in this. Everyone is more than welcome. Now, we've covered off a topic on the needs portion. So these are the tangible needs. What are some of the things that I actually had to do to really pull myself up? So those three things about opportunity, the struggle, and the sharing piece. I'm now going to move on to talking a little bit more about some of the behavioral changes that I had to implement in myself to really help me to elevate my learning capacity. So there are a total of 3 tips that I'd like to share with everyone here. So let's go and have a look at the very first tip. I'm sure you would have seen this someplace, but I'm going to reiterate this for you once again. So tip number 1 is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. When you set out to learn something new, it's always going to be tough. It's going to be challenging because you need to put in lots of effort. Plus, you're going to be putting in you're going to be using up a lot of brain power to be able to get there. So it is perfectly natural to feel uncomfortable. But the moment we start embracing the idea that we only grow when we step outside our comfort zone, then this whole concept about being uncomfortable becomes a little bit easier. And this should make us feel a lot more inclined to take on new challenges. And that's when that's when you're actually taking the first step towards accelerating your Tableau learning. So that was tip number 1. Tip number 2, I know somebody very famous already said this, but I'm just going to say it here again. And it's all about just doing it. And I can certainly say that this is one statement that has really turned my life around in a big way. And that's because I used to be very passive. In other words, I used to spend more time thinking about doing something rather than actually putting things to action. But I can assure you, especially also in reflection of my personal experience, life really only changes when we do. And what I mean by that is being proactive. And like I said, rather than thinking about what you're going to do the things that you believe in, put it to action, and don't feel shy to don't shy away from opportunities. Um, if I speak about myself, this is probably officially outside work the very first public speaking opportunity that I've had. When Annabelle actually asked me at TC, um, I probably had about 0.1 second to have a think about it, but I didn't hesitate. I said, I'll do it. I might do a bad job of presenting, but I'll do it because only when I do it, I'll learn from it and I'll improve and I'll get better. So this definitely has been a big life changer for me. And tip number 3. Now you can see the red stamp there that says top secret, and that's because this was going to be the big secret that I wanted to really share with everyone today, and this really represents the absolute core value that we should all try and embrace. And this is where everything starts in terms of your Tableau learning, accelerating that learning capacity. I feel that this is where it all starts from. And going by my own principles, I thought, okay, well, wouldn't it be interesting if I gamify this? So rather than making it too simple for everyone, I thought it might be a great opportunity to turn it into a game, and then we can all participate and have a guess at what that tip number 3 was going to be. So what I did was I actually went ahead and created a game. It's a little bit crude and it's a little bit of work, but I think last I checked, I think it still worked okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate to Tableau Public. Unfortunately, due to some technical problems, I wasn't able to embed it into PowerPoint slide. So just bear with me. I'm going to open up another window and I'll get the game up and running. So, okay, let's see if I can do this right. Okay. Okay, can everybody see this? Okay, fantastic. Okay, so like I said, it is looking very crude. I promise I'm going to be spending a lot more time on making it a little bit more interesting after the presentation. But what I need from everyone here is to help me finish this sentence, which reads, the secret to accelerating your Tableau learning is to do what? So it's a 4-letter word, and we're going to get 5 guesses, and I'm going to help do the floating QWERTY keyboard. And what I need from the audience is I need some letters. So do we have any volunteers? Okay, so we've got R. Okay, so I'm going to go with R first. Okay, let me just reconnect to this. Okay, so we've got R. No, they're all still question marks, and we've just used up one guess. So, so we've got RA. Sorry, 2 guesses and still nothing. Okay, so I'm gonna go with
vowels, guys. Vowels first. You know.
So what I'm gonna do is, okay, let me just clear that. I'm gonna give you a second chance. I'm gonna go look for these letters. I'm gonna start with I. There we go. So we've got I, and I can see E, and we've got E now. And I think we're getting close. We're halfway there now. Any other takers? No, not quite. No. Our time's a good one. Okay. I'm going to throw another hint for everyone. So I'm going to say, how about G? G for good.
Give.
Okay, I think everyone's got it now. Okay.
People put that in.
So it is. Okay, so the magic word. So the magic word today was to give.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about what this all means and what give has to do with our Tableau learning. So my interpretation of giving here is all about to give to the community, to give to the Tableau community, to give your help, to give your support to those in need by giving your time and then your efforts. Because one of the things that you'll quickly notice is the moment you start doing this, putting this to action, you'll very quickly realize that it turns into a great learning opportunity. And reflecting on that example that I referred to earlier on about, coming to the Tableau community forums and helping other people with their challenges. Because what you're effectively doing is you're turning their problems into your own by stepping into their shoes. And in order to help the other person, you're actually going to be spending a lot of time, your efforts to explore ways to solve that problem. And obviously, when you undergo that struggle process, as I explained earlier on, that's going to be presented to you as a great learning opportunity. And the more of it that you do, you're only going to be further elevating that learning capacity for you. And hence, that's what leads to accelerating that Tableau learning, as it has done for me as well. One of the things I can certainly say with every confidence is that going beyond that green mark, actually, I'll say prior to that green mark that you've seen on that line chart, I probably didn't even know half the stuff that I know that I do today, if that makes sense. And that really only happened in a short span of time. Why? Because I actually believed that giving actually is learning, and And you'll be surprised to find that what comes back as a result of helping each other, it comes back to you in a very positive way in many multiples of what you give. Okay. Now, if that's not convincing enough, I'm going to give you something that will help you feel more inclined to give, and to do that, I'm going to just come back to our slide pack. Okay, so I think, okay. Sorry, I'm struggling a little bit here. Okay, that's better. Okay. A very interesting fact which I discovered while I was, I didn't, to be very absolutely honest, I haven't read the book, but I watched one of those YouTube videos with a 5-minute summary of what the book is about. So has anybody here actually seen or read a book called Give and Take by Adam Grant? So in his book, Adam actually talks about there being 3 different types of people that live on this planet. There are the takers, the matchers, and the givers. Takers are the group of people who are always striving so hard to get as much as possible from those people around them. Matches are the people that strongly believe in equal transactions, meaning that if I gave one, then I expect one back in return. And the givers are the people that are willingly giving to others without expecting anything in return. And the big question here is, who do you think is the most successful in life? And the book actually has a definitive answer here. Turns out that it's the givers that tended to be, in general, the most successful in life. So again, here is a clear evidence here that you know, there's a lot more to giving, and having that mindset about giving and helping other people is what's really going to be helping you to taking the first step to, well, in our context, really accelerating that Tableau learning. And the moment you start doing this, that's when you'll start to see the true magic happen in your life, as it did in mine as well. I'm going to wrap up the presentation just with this final slide. And I thought it would be really, really helpful to actually put this last slide together, because we touched on quite a few points today, and often when you talk about various sorts of things, we can get very easily lost in a sea of information. So I just wanted to summarize it, summarize just the key points here so that we can all remember. So today's topic was all about accelerating your Tableau learning, so hence fast tracking that learning process. So I decided to call this the FAST method, and the FAST method actually stands for find, as in looking for that challenge, looking for that opportunity piece that we talked about previously. And then once you've found a problem, then it's logically correct to then spend the time to analyze, you know, what's really the problem, what is, you know, what is the nature of that issue, you know, what's the key deliverable here. And once you've understood that, then comes the struggle piece where, you know, you're really having to explore and look for ways to solving that problem. And that's when the real learning happens. And once you've found the solution to that problem, then you're going to take that information and you're going to teach other people, because as I said before, teaching is learning. So with that said, I hope the information that I shared with you today is going to be helpful in your very own Tableau journey. And you know, I'd welcome any questions that you may have, even right now or even after this presentation. I'm more than happy to answer any questions from anyone. So with that said, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much, Joon, for sharing your story and how you have actually progressed when there were actually blockers, and then you overcame them, and finally, now you have been like three times Tableau ambassador. And yes, the most important thing, which was an interesting quiz as well, like about giving back. I think I can relate to that because my whole journey as well is totally based on giving back. So thank you so much for telling your story all together. I think it was a great session, and the best thing was like you were speaking from your heart, like whatever you have experienced, you were speaking your journey out. So that was really good to know, and I think a lot many people, yeah, it was really inspirational. Nice one.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, so I think this was an exciting one, and now we are moving to the final session of the day. So today we have Rika, who is coming straight from Japan, and she's a BI consultant at Slalom, and she had a solid BI skills, data engineering skills, and practice experience as a business person. If I have to talk about Rika, her Tableau public portfolio is really great, and she really likes to develop visualizations. Also, coming to the professional part, she handles everything from organization strategy and KPI design to dashboard construction and team leadership for improved business decision making. Rika is a Tableau ambassador and a community leader, leading cross-border activities where individuals and communities expand beyond national borders and products. So today, Rika is going to talk about the importance of data storytelling for Tableau creators in AI generation. So I believe that this is going to be one exciting session again. And so I'm really excited to welcome Rika. Rika, go ahead and take the stage.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, everyone. Let me share my screen. This one. Okay. Can you see the screen? I see. Okay, thank you. So let me start. Hi, everyone. Hi, Data Farm. How are you? I'm sad actually. So as you can see, I can show my face to everyone. I'm not sure why, but something has happened to my brother. Very sad, but I'd like to share a very great things for you today. So I'm Rika Fujiwara, and I'm thrilled to be here. A member of Tableau community for over 4 years. I bring a wealth of experience as a BI consultant at Slalom, like as the person has already mentioned. Today, I'd like to share insights on the importance of data storytelling. But first, I want to express my sincere appreciation to the event organizers for making today possible, and to the participants, your presence reflects your commitment to learning and growth. And thank you for that. One quick note, I save time for questions and feedback at the end. Please hold your questions until then, and I address them to the best of my ability. However, please feel free to write something in the chat box during my presentation. Thank you for having me today. Let's make this session enriching for all in the next minutes. Today, I'm going to talk about the importance of data storytelling for Tableau creators in AI generation era. Let's begin with icebreaker. How would you describe AI in one word? Please post your ideas in the chat. Yeah, I see there's some noise. I know that But so I hope to see your ideas. So what do you think? Oh, friends. It's the noise has gone. It's scary, it's good, magic, the future, hype, running. Wow, great. The very interesting answers are there. Okay, let's move on. My next question is answer yes or no in the chat box. Do you think AI can do our job as well as we human can? Future, yes. No, 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 yes. There are a lot of yes and no, but I think there are more. I think the majority is no, I think. Okay, yes. AI, there's many things better than humans. However, I believe that humans need something to be moved or is inspired to take action. But how? Data itself aren't enough. Okay, so what is necessary to move people and organizations and influence them to take action? We need stories. And AI cannot tell a story the way humans can do it. With that in mind, in order to create a compelling story, we have to understand the two types of data visualization. Some of you may probably know these: exploratory type and explanatory or storytelling type. In this presentation, I will refer to them as explore and expla, respectively. The explore type is neutral, with no opinion or assertion in the visualization itself, and it's often seen in business dashboards that monitor periodic KPIs. On the other hand, the expla type or storytelling type is clear in its opinions and is often found in works by the author, such as I Am These or Makeover Monday. The difference between these two types, in my opinion, is in terms of who discovers the insights. In the explore type, the viewer finds insights on their own by exploring the data. In the explore type, the creator finds insights by studying the data in advance and examining the background of the data, and then most effectively sharing their own opinions and findings to the audience. I feel that Explore dashboards are a good match for AI because one, AI will be able to generate Explore dashboards automatically in the near future, so we can delegate that task to AI. Two, the Explore experience will closely resemble an inquiry using natural language, such as asking, what were our sales figures for the past week? Which day was the slowest? So, AI is good at explore tasks. On the other hand, it is difficult to rely on AI for explore type because what is ultimately communicated is the own opinion that the creator wants to convey to the audience. It is similar to a certain type of journalism. Originally, visualization was suited for one-to-many communication and moving purposes. Perhaps this is why mass media, such as TV news reporting, using visualization. I believe that we, Tableau creators, as storytellers, should be good at exploit visualization in order to move people and organizations and make them take action. To answer the question, what is necessary to move people and organizations to take action? I believe exploit visualization technique, or in simpler terms, data storytelling is needed. So, what exactly should we keep in mind? It's who I am. Often forgotten in the context of data storytelling, who I am is very important. Remember Kimri's presentation I Am Base 2022? Many of you may remember her opening statement. I am Cambodian Australian, but I am also a child of refugees born in a refugee camp. I've always wondered what my life would have been like if he had returned to Cambodia after the war, or if we had not come to Australia. As you might have noticed, she had started with who she was. I was also impressed with her story, so I bought it for her. Anyway, in storytelling, it is very important to be clear about who I am, what I am about, and why this topic is important for me to talk about. So, in keeping with this principle, here is my who I am for this particular piece of work. Tokyo Railway Network. This work of mine was exhibited in the Tableau Public Gallery at the Tableau Conference 2022 and described a map of Tokyo's railway and metro system. This is my who I am. Growing up in rural Japan, I had no idea what awaited me when I first set foot in Tokyo. The sheer number of train stations and lines overwhelmed me. I thought I'd get used to it eventually. But even after living in Tokyo for 20 years, I'm still reliant on Google Maps to navigate the city's intricate train system. It's like a puzzle that I haven't quite solved yet. But I'm making my way through it with a little help from technology. Now that you know who I am, even just a bit, I believe that you can relate to me a little more than before. Here are the 3 hows in order to be able to come up with a compelling and effective story. 1. Interviewing. 2. Headlining. And 3. Drafting and revising. As I mentioned earlier, storytelling is close to journalism. So, the generalist approach is useful for us. Let me talk about them one by one. 1. Interviewing. Data exploration and insight discovery. Imagine what a newspaper journalist does. You know that the journalist goes to the sites to cover the facts and interview people in an effort to learn the background of the incident. This is to find the context that enhances the facts in the story. the company's sales have been declining year after year. This is the fact. Due to the rise of competing companies, that company's sales are declining year after year. This is the contextual story. This context is not necessarily found in one piece of data. You tend to need to look into other data, and if there is no data, incorporate your own domain knowledge and what you have seen and heard. This kind of effort is often necessary. Let's have a look at what I did about the Tokyo Railway Network data. First, I carefully covered the data on the number of lines, number of stations, and station locations using Tableau, and obtained the fact that there are 26 lines and 71 stations within a mere 3-kilometer radius of Tokyo Station. Here again, who I am comes into play. I live in Tokyo, so I know firsthand how difficult and complicated it is to take and change trains. And the stories were born. In Tokyo, even local people have a hard time taking and changing trains. This is because Tokyo's train network is so complicated since there are 26 lines and 71 stations within a mere 3-kilometer radius of Tokyo Station. Moving on to the second how, headlining. Clear story and impactful title. Imagine a newspaper. Readers are always busy. From among countless articles, they select and read the ones worth reading. So, they check the headlines first. The same goes for the dashboard. For example, instead of sales report by store, October, how about October store sales report, 5 stores record minus last month. Then the viewers will think to themselves, what? I want to learn more, don't you think? Tokyo Railway Network is a simple headline, I know, but the design supplements it with impact and context. I'll tell you the secret in the 3 whys section later. Let's now talk about the third how, drafting and revising. It means writing a draft on paper first, then rewriting it again and again, and finally using Tableau. Imagine the process of a newspaper journalist writing an article. No one writes an article for a newspaper at once and immediately submits it for publishing. They start by making a draft and revising it a number of times until the actual article satisfies the editor. So, I recommend that before you start working on your visualization in Tableau, hand draw your design using paper and pen as a draft. Because Tableau is an intuitive tool, so some of us depend on it too much. So that I see many users start work without drafting. I find creating without a plan tends to take longer, and the message turns out to be unclear. In Tokyo Railway Network, I prepared the size and the placement of the title and the image of the map by hand drawing draft before starting the work. All right, those are the 3 hours: interviewing, headlining, and drafting and revising. Furthermore, there's another aspect we need to explore. This time, I'd like to share with you the 3 whys that I answered in order to design the Tokyo Railway Network. Why did I use of kanji, Chinese characters? English speakers often recognize kanji characters, even if they don't understand their meaning. When using kanji characters in the title, it signals that the story is related to Japan or China. To make it clearer, I also included the English title next to the kanji so that people can quickly realize it's about Tokyo, Japan. Additionally, the kanji script is visually appearing in its pure form, making it an effective attention grabber or visual attraction. 2. Why did I also use text, not just charts? The main focus of any data visualization is the charts. But to help the audience better understand, adding text with variable background information can be effective. In the case of Tokyo Railway Network, text is used alongside maps to enhance their storytelling. And number 3, why did I allow interactivity? As you know, the difference between visualization and infographics is interactivity. By providing the opportunity to engage with the bit as the viewer likes, the creator gives the viewer the pleasure of self-discovery. This is a fun activity, as we creators know. Okay, there I answered the questions. Why I used kanji, used text, not just charts, and allowed interactivity. Moving right along, you may be asking yourselves this question now. Sure, what you are talking about is a good approach to making creative visualizations, but I am not sure how to apply it in the business context. It works. Let me explain. The who I am and the 3 hows, interviewing, headlining, and revising, drafting and revising, together with the ancillary 3 whys, works well even in a business context. If you are in charge of marketing, you must have a lot of marketing know-how that developers don't. It is so-called domain knowledge. Marketers are the expert in marketing. They understand it better than the general audience. And there's no reason for their self-created stories not to be excellent. It's easy. Who I am and interviewing, headlining, and drafting and revising. Try it. even for some of you who work for a vendor company, you can tell your story. When you finish your creation of the dashboard, you will make a demo for your client, right? You might be saying this, well, you can select the month here, or here is the link to the next page. No, this is the KPI dashboard, which you should check every morning. So, when you see this chart, you can find which stores reached target sales this week. Oops, this store marks minus the last 5 days. What happened to the store? You see, you have a lot of chances to tell a story and attract your audience. If you'd like to practice, I recommend Maker Monday, Back to Biz Basic, and I Am Biz as a place to run. Okay, then in conclusion, sharing your own stories can be a nerve-wracking experience. The fear of misinterpretation can be paralyzing. However, it's essential to understand that even with potential misinterpretations, your narratives hold the power to stir emotions and drive change within organizations. The anxiety you feel as data storytellers is an inherent part of your journey to influence people and organizations positively. It's a challenge you must embrace because it's the key to succeeding in a data driven world. When you encounter a misinterpretation, don't retreat, adapt, refine the accuracy of your data, seek additional domain knowledge, and implement corrective measures. Failure is not the end. It's a stepping stone towards growth and progress. Let me end my presentation by saying, furnish your fears and savor the experience. Embrace the art of self-discovery and expression. And let the world witness your courage to speak your truth. Remember that the path to greatness is open to data storytellers like you. Together, let's usher in our new era of data storytellers and transform the world through the power of our narratives. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Rika.
Right. Wow, thank you for the comments. Wow. And then I go to the Q&A session. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. And I can see some comments that the people who write the draft in advance, maybe Anne. Yeah, I'm very glad to find the friends who are drafting the visualization. Yeah, actually, so some of you in host, do you write draft in advance? How about Jimdy? Yeah. Do you draft your visualization in advance?
Honestly, it really depends. I find if
Mm,
it's elaborate, then I'll try to plan it out. But for like
right.
basic stuff like Makeover Monday, I just jump in
Mm,
and do it.
Ah,
Whatever
right,
comes up.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that your visualization is very beautiful, and sometimes it's very the rich, so that I believe that you did the preparation before the visualization works.
Thank you.
Ooh.
It's all mental. I do prepare, but like it's mental preparation, I should say. But yeah,
Right,
each
right.
person has their own preference. But yeah, to
Mm,
whatever works best, I think. Yeah, for everyone.
right.
Just do that,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Nice. So, is there any questions
I think
or
everybody
comments?
enjoyed. Yeah, everybody enjoyed the whole analogy, like how to take step-by-step approach to build
Mm,
such a visualization. I think that's
right.
quite important because a direction
Be-
is important, and a lot of points that you brought in, like we have to incorporate business. That is
mm,
quite important because without context, it's just building charts, nothing more.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah. I think we
Right.
are good to go. So Rika
Yes.
has another part we have. She is going to
Yeah.
introduce few of our
Yeah.
Tableau buddies.
Yes. Today. So, everyone, thank you for the question, the comments. Then let's move on to the next topic. Did you know that I have two topics today? And I have two special guests from Japan. And so, present, can you add present to as Tomo and Tachan? Can you join?
Both of them are here, Rika.
Yes, we are John. Thank you.
All right, great. Wow, I can see you. Hey, Tachan. And hi, Tomo.
And
Yeah, can you? I think you can. Yes, I can see you. Okay, let's move on. Do you know what that Tableau user group in Japan look like? Today, special guests from Japan will introduce Japan Tableau user group, so-called JTUG. Hi, Tachan, Tomo. Please start.
hello. Next slide, please.
Okay, hold on. Something happens. Okay.
Okay. We are Japan Tableau user group, so-called JTUG. On left picture, Tomo icon. JTUG Chief Inspiration Officer, Snowflake Sales Engineer, and Tableau Ambassador 2021, 2022, and this year. I am Tachan, right picture. JTUG Chief Marketing Officer and Tableau Japan Senior Solution Engineer. Thank you for this opportunity today. Next slide, okay? What is JTUG? JTUG is Japan's largest and oldest Tableau user group, established in January 30, 2014. We host an annual meeting event for over 500 participants. This is the biggest and our main event. Additionally, our summer programs such as regular program, Tableau Radio, and YouTube program, and creation of with contest so-called Screamer Show. This is as exciting as I am based in Japan. Thankfully, we have many followers on our social networking sites, X, Twitter, YouTube, and also we created Instagram recently. Please follow it. Here are just a few of the events we have hosted. Tomo, are you ready?
Thank you, Tajan. I'm Tomo, Tableau User Group Ambassador. I introduce online event by JTUG. With Tsukurima Show is an event originated by JTUG. This is like a timer talk or workout Wednesday. The target base is announced on the spot, and the challengers compete for the time to complete creating the base. It's like a Formula One with Tableau. This used to be an annual event, but starting this year, it has been held quarterly online at the Casual Biz Tsukurimashou. In October, there is a high-level challenge like this one, which was inspired by Halloween, made by Tableau visionary Satoshi Ganeko. Please read this QR code, and we hope that you will try your hand at solving it. Let's challenge. Next, please. And next is Japan Tableau Prep User Group supported by JTUG. This TUG is one of the most popular user groups in Japan. Nearly 200 users participate each time. This TUG is hosted by energetic leaders include 5 Tableau ambassadors. The high level of interest from the participants clearly shows that there are many people who find it difficult to prepare data all over the world. Tatian, please.
Tachan, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. This photo is an on-site event, our annual event last year. Looks good, isn't it? Every data farm in Japan really enjoy the sessions, contests, and networking. Next slide, please. This is the ceremony for contest winners. Rika, could you play?
Okay.
社のサカピーさんからトロフィーを授与していただきたいと思います。改めまして、千秋さん優勝おめでとうございます。おめでとうございます。社のサカピーさんからトロフィーを授与していただきたいと思います。
Okay, this is our exciting event. Next year, okay, we will celebrate the 10 years anniversary, Tokyo, January 30, 2024. The left picture is the venue of our anniversary event. It is a theater built for Japanese traditional art performers. It is exotic, isn't it? If you are in Japan at this time, please join us. Right picture, our official logo. Latest news will be updated on X and Instagram. Please follow and post with #JTUG10 hashtag on the X or Instagram. Thank you. That's all. Any questions?
Great. And I can see the comment that Annabelle is going to soon into Japan. And Chimdi and Prasan, you will come to Japan the next year, right?
Hey, we got to, man. We have
Wow.
to.
Wow. So have you already decided the date or the schedule? Not yet.
Just throwing ideas out there, I think.
Definitely. You must reach out to me and JTUG. Yeah.
That would be good. Yeah, totally.
Right.
All right.
Right, great.
Back to control, Jimmy or Priscilla.
Okay, so sharing.
Okay.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Rika, for sharing this whole knowledge from storytelling to also introducing our team members from the Japan Tableau user group. And it's great to see, it's a great community out there, and they are going to celebrate their 10 years anniversary. So congratulations, JTUG, and thank you so much, Rika, for bringing this immense knowledge and you shared with us. So thank you so much, and thank you so
Yeah,
much,
thank
audience.
you. Thank
So I'll hand
you.
it over to Chimdi for the last words.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Prasan. And of course, thanks again to all our speakers, all our guests who also hung around this late. We know this time is usually like, later for some people. So again, for everyone who hangs out, we really appreciate that. Please don't forget that, if you ever have something awesome you want to share, you have a topic you want to present, you can always kind of reach out to us, and we're always happy to have you here to share your stuff with everyone else. And of course, with these barcodes, you can always scan these. This is something that Tableau has ongoing. You can share your ideas, whatever it is that you kind of think would be great for the product. They're always open to taking on ideas from the community. So put your stuff out there and they'll listen. Our next meeting is in November, so we look forward to seeing you then. That one's a little bit earlier, so it's 9 to 11 Pacific time. Please do go register at our Bevy page. We're no longer on the Tableau site, so join in, and we'll be sure to send you out all the notifications, all the emails. So once again, thank you all for staying through. We look forward to seeing you next month. Until then, happy visiting, happy exploring, and I wish you all the best in everything you get into. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. That was really good. So I'm going to, I guess, no, Prasan, you started the recording, so I think you can.
Yeah, I'll do that now.
Nice.